Hi everyone, today we are going to see a combination chart, a pie chart and a table. So how is it combined to So this is the question here. We can see the picture here. It is the left hand side. We can see the question. The pie charts below shows the main reasons why agricultural land becomes less productive. The table shows how these causes affected 3 regions of the world during 1990s. So this is the thing that we are going to see. So we can see the question requirements. Requirement number 1 is the time requirement. If you complete the task within this 20 minutes, that would be better. If you take more time, you are consuming the time for task 2. The second requirement is to summarize the information. This is requirement number 1. Requirement number 2 is here, summarizing the information. It means you have the information expanded. A detailed explanation is given, picturized here in the pie charts and the table. So what you have to do is that you need to brief it. You need to summarize it. You need to select and report the main features. That's select and report 3 and 4. What you have to select? The main features. What you have to report? The main features. Select the main features, report the main features, and the most important thing, make comparisons where relevant. So this is the 5th requirement. So you are required to make comparisons where relevant. So if I go and see, it is always better. This is not mandatory. If you complete it within the 20 minutes time frame, it is definitely beneficial for you. And summarizing. If you summarize this thing, you can write within the word count, that an ideal word count of 150 to 200 words, if you do that. But mandatory things are there. Select and report. This is mandatory. You need to select and report the main features and make comparisons. Write at least 150 words. If you write 149 words, it is accepted. If you write 145 words, it is accepted. But if you write less than 130 words, it is not accepted. So at least 150 words as per the new revised parameters criterion. We can write 149 words, 147 words, 145 words, no issues. But if it is 130 words, then it is penalized. So students may ask, what is the maximum word count I can write? You can write as many words you can, because there is no instruction like that. But it is ideal to limit your word count below 200, because if you go beyond 200, you have not done these tasks. You have not summarized, you have not selected and reported the main features, you have selected other features too, and you have not made comparisons. So if your word count is moving beyond 200, automatically that is the thing. You have not summarized, the data, you have not selected and reported the main features, and you have not made the comparison. That is the visible proof before the examiner. If your word count is over 200, then you have not done that particular thing, these requirements, these particular requirements. So if you write 145 words, it is accepted. If you write 144 words, it is accepted. But if you write 120 or 125 words or 130 words or 135 words, then you are having a higher probability of getting the penalty, as that is one of the requirements, which instructions which is given in the question itself. You have to read it, understand it, you have to follow the instructions, and that is what the examiners require. Now, I can see that there are two charts. One is the pie chart, another is a table. And you can see that this is of two headings. One is causes of worldwide land degradation, and second one is causes of land degradation by region. So many of my students in my previous experiences, when I have been correcting, when I was correcting the works, task one works, they are looking for a synonym for this thing. They want to find another word for this thing, and they try with a lot of experiments. And around 90% of the candidates fail in doing that, and they will be placing some other vocabulary which is having no relationship with the degradation. And I request you students, my beloved candidates, you don't try with these experiments when it comes to the vocabulary. When it comes to the vocabulary, you have to be particular. So if you are not particular with the meaning of one word, don't try with experiments there. I don't want you to try with experiments. So if you don't find the another word for degradation, so please don't do that. So here, land degradation, I have made it degradation. Yes, degradation. Here in the introduction, I have two degradation. Is it a big problem there, or should I replace with something else? I don't have any word there. If I do have any word in my mind, you can do that. Exactly. If you're 100% sure that you can replace that word with this particular word, if you are 100% sure, you can do that. I am not sure. I'm not able to find an exact word for degradation to substitute degradation. So I have not done that. So if you write this thing, is there a big problem? It is accepted. It is accepted. So you see in a paragraph, you are not using this particular word for too frequently, as well as you are not using this word too frequently, then it's okay. But what if you have to replace a word which you don't know, then the only way before you is to write that particular word and then move on. Okay, this is what I just was pointing out. Now I have to see the pie chart. This pie chart below shows the main reasons why agricultural land becomes less productive. So becomes less productive, it means it is present tense. Why agricultural lands becomes less productive? What are the reasons behind the land degradation? The land which are suitable, lands which are suitable for agricultural production, why is becoming less productive? Why is it becoming less productive? That's the question there. Now, I told you that this is something which has to be written in simple present tense. But the next particular thing, it is causes of degradation by region in 1990s. In 1990s, in the sense 1990, 1991 to 1999. The 10 years, 90, 91, 92 up to 1999, the 10 years that we call it 1990s. 80s, 1980s means 80, 81, 82 up to 89. So the 10 years time from 1990 up to 1999, 2000 is different. So the causes of land degradation by region during this 10-year period, this is simple past tense. So as far as this particular thing is in two tenses, it is better for us not to relate this thing to this thing. You can relate, you can, definitely you can relate. You can relate the pie chart to the table, that because the things are there, you know, deforestation is there, over cultivation is there, overgrazing is there, yes, and others are not there here in this thing. But you can definitely say over, see for example, deforestation is overgrazing is the major cause of land degradation. And due to overgrazing, you can say in North America, 1.5% of the total agricultural land was degraded. You can say that. Definitely. You can mix up the overgrazing is the major, it was the most prominent cause for the land degradation. Not it was, it is. Due to this thing, in 1990s, the worst affected area was Oceania, where 11.3% of its land was degraded. You can say that definitely. But we have a better presentation here. So you present this thing and then you present this thing, because it's of two tenses. We have to present this thing in simple present tense, and we have to present this thing in simple past tense. So it is better, it is recommended to present it separate paragraphs. Introduction, overview, and then two paragraphs. That is the better presentation. You can go with the other way too. I told you in the first way, that is overgrazing. Then you can say the worst affected area. Deforestation, you can say the worst affected area. Overcultivation, you can say the worst affected area. You can do that. And you can say this is the worst affected area, or Europe, you can say on a whole, if you say in 1990. So you can do in either way, but go for the better one. Now let's go ahead with the introduction. This is the introduction here. And this is the question, how both these things are combined. It is combined, this thing, we're using while. Data regarding the causes of land degradation globally. So worldwide, globally. It is adopted here. That thing was not there in the question. So I have taken this particular vocabulary from the title of the pie chart. From the title of the pie chart, look everywhere, you'll be getting some important information. Global land degradation, it was not here in this question. So data regarding the causes of land degradation globally is depicted in the pie chart, while the region-wise, I think there should be a hyphen there, the region-wise degradation in 1990s is illustrated in the table. The region-wise degradation, you can say land degradation by region, region-wise degradation in 1990s. That 1990s is not there in the title. So I have added that in the thing because it is there in the introduction, in the question here it is there. Is illustrated in the diagram, even though we have two things here. Data, the word data is considered as singular as well as plural. So now it is considered data, I cannot say data are, so you can say data is illustrated in the table. So I've seen the grammar part too. Now what you can see, the overall picture, the overall story here. Overall, when overgrazing is seen as the major cause of this issue, yeah, the worst affected area, worst affected region in the given period was Europe. In the given period was Europe. You can say overgrazing is seen as the major cause. Is seen as the major cause of the issue. Yes, the issue is land degradation. It is there in the previous, the introduction paragraph. The worst affected region in the given period was Europe. So this is the thing here. So I have taken the summary of this particular picture and this particular picture. So main thing, I've taken one from there, I've taken from one from this. You may have another overviews. This is what I am going to discuss in the coming paragraph, overgrazing and the worst affected area. This is what I'm going to highlight. You may have another overview, better overview may have, you may formulate that, no issues there. Now I go with the pie chart. As per the pie chart, it is clear that that most areas of the agricultural land becomes less productive due to overgrazing, and this accounts for just a third of the total land. So you are telling become less productive, simple present tense. Accounts for, simple present tense. The second major factor is deforestation. Gets degraded, simple present tense. Is next major cause. Is affected. Collectively make. So all these things represents a simple present tense, that nowhere I have used another tense here. That's why I told you to group that thing in simple present tense. Simple present tense should be written in one particular paragraph. The other tense, the past tense, will be writing in the second paragraph here. As we have seen this thing very clearly, you can see that the order of the presentation, most areas overgrazing, number one, a third of the total, 1/3, it means over a third means more than 33%. There it is 35%. The second major factor is deforestation, and due to this 30%, next descending order, 35, 30. Over cultivation is the next major cause, again descending, 28%. Other causes the least, 7%. So it is in the reverse order. So you have to order that thing. So the worst affected area, no, the worst problem to the least problem. Now we are going with this table. You can say turning to the regional share of degradation. Now we have said the time frame to 1990s. It is very important that we, in the paragraph, we need to write the time frame. You should not miss that because it is a new paragraph. You need to write the time frame. It is mandatory to represent the time frame, even though you have written the time frame in another area, because this is a new thing, new paragraph. Here I don't need a time frame because it's simple present tense. Here I need a time frame because it is specified there in the question. And this is a totally new paragraph. I need a time frame there. Of the 23% degraded land in Europe in 1990s, 9.8 was due to deforestation, while overcultivation caused 7.7 destruction. Yeah. See, for degradation, the word change, degraded, destruction. Very difficult it is. Instead, so degraded, yes, affected, less productive, less productive. So you can see, instead of degradation, they are telling less productive, degraded, affected. So these are the words we can see, degraded. Okay, about 5.5% of its land got affected by overgrazing. The second worst affected area, first was Europe. The second worst affected was Oceania, with around 30% degraded land. So 23% was in Europe, 13% was in Oceania. Of this 13%, 11.3% was due to overgrazing. The least affected area, so we have not said what is happening due to other causes, overcultivation and deforestation in Oceania. So we have selected the main features only. We have not selected all the data. The least affected area was North America, 5%, and the major cause here was overcultivation. Only the major causes. We have summarized, we have selected and reported the main features only. So I need to say in this area, the causes, as all the causes have to be mentioned. But here, the worst affected area, the worst affected area, Europe, then Oceania, and then we can say North America. So in Europe, what happened in Europe, deforestation and overcultivation and overgrazing. The three things were important there in Europe. But when it came to Oceania, overgrazing was the only thing mentioned. When it came to North America, overcultivation was the only thing which was mentioned. Even though we have other areas to be mentioned here, we have selected something here. We have Europe, we have mentioned all three. North America, you have mentioned this thing. Oceania, we have mentioned this thing. We skip this thing, we skip this thing, we skip this thing, we skip this thing. Around 1, 2, 3, 4 items I have missed there, not missing. So I have neglected there because it's not that much important. So select, summarize the information by select and report the main features and make comparisons where relevant. This is what we have done there. So that's it. We have come to the end of the explanation here. Hope you might have understood this.